Hello. Welcome. Let me tell you a story. A story about a human boy. A boy born in the realm of Eldoria, a land of magic and shadows, darkness and mist. The boy, born to a humble family in a small village, was an enigma to those around him. From a young age, he showed a deep connection to the shadows that inhabited Eldoria. These shadows responded to his presence, and he was able to communicate with them, listen to them, and they would respond to his commands and emotions. As you can imagine, in a land of magic and shadows, humans already lived on edge, fearful of the unknown. But the unconventional abilities of the boy spread dark rumors through his village and those close by. The villagers started to avoid the boy. They were in awe of his power, but also felt fear and trepidation. What would he do with these powerful abilities? The boy knew the villagers feared him, and this troubled him greatly. But his abilities and what he should do with them was even more of a mystery to him. Now, within Eldoria, there was an ancient order that delved into the forbidden arts of shadow manipulation. They were known as the Umbrum Brotherhood. These were other humans who were lured by the power of shadows and studied how to use them for their own gain. As the boy was trying to comprehend his power, he heard rumors of the Umbrum Brotherhood, and of course, they too soon heard about the boy's abilities. They extended an invitation to him to join their ranks and learn more about the shadows. The boy grew curious. Perhaps here he could learn more about his powers and how to use them. So the boy joined the Umbrum Masters and quickly learned to wield the shadow powers that he had. He was able to merge with them, to appear and disappear at will. He was able to call upon them to reinforce his own body, change his appearance, make weapons, or even change the atmosphere and impact the weather around him. The Umbrum Masters envied him. His abilities and talents were innate. He required very little training or practice to master abilities, when they themselves had to study and work for years to reach the level of power this boy had already attained. But they continued to influence him, hoping that by teaching him their ways, they could control him, and by extension, his great abilities. They sought to wield him as a weapon. However, the boy was not lured by the promise of absolute power or the path of malevolence that the Umbrum Brotherhood sought. His life, his abilities, all stemmed around these shadowy powers, so he realized that the darkness was a part of him. But he retained a spark of humanity, of compassion and morality, and this set him apart from the Umbrum Masters. He soon realized this, and after a time he left the Brotherhood, disappearing without a trace. His family, too, disappeared. It is rumored he took them to a safe place from the Umbrum Brotherhood so that they'd be able to live a life of peace without fear of retribution from the Dark Order. He then left his family too, and began a great journey of his own. Throughout this soul-searching adventure, the boy aged. He started to discover who he really was, and what he wanted to do with his life and abilities. Soon, he abandoned his true name to be lost to time. He did this to protect his own identity, and more importantly, by doing so, protect his family. As he ventured, he started intervening in conflicts that impacted Eldoria, and by doing so, began walking a precarious line between heroism and villainy. But he did not do this for the pursuit of dominion or power. No. He did so to stop those who would abuse power for their own gain, especially if the powers being abused were those of the darkness and shadows. He began to believe in a system of careful balance and acted upon that belief to ensure that no power would have complete control over another. However, this belief sometimes required acts of ruthlessness towards those who purposely meant harm to this balance. As such, the people within Aldoria soon began to hear more tales of him. They heard of a shadowy presence who would appear to confront common criminals and malevolent sorcerers. But no one was sure if he was real or not, or if he was a shadow, or if he was a human. He remained a spectral figure. More and more rumors would spread, providing those who heard of him with both feelings of terror and fascination. Some began to believe he was a savior, while others thought of him as a harbinger of doom. Even more spoke of this mysterious figure that would appear in times of need when all hope seemed lost, and he would turn the tides of the event, thwarting disaster. Soon, someone gave him a name that spread like wildfire. Marethyu, which in the native tongue of Eldoria means death. It became apparent that this figure acted on his own accord and that wrongdoers should fear his attention. As he continued his lifelong journey, he encountered beings from both light and dark realms, even venturing outside of Eldoria. He formed many alliances with creatures such as wisps, enchanted beings, disgraced shadows, and even nightmares. These beings slowly began to flock to him, acknowledging him as a shadowborn sovereign, a de facto leader. He didn't particularly enjoy being seen as a leader or treated as such, as he truly was a solitary soul, but it did provide him with companions along his journey. Eventually, he created a haven deep within Eldoria, where those who were rejected or outcast by society could gather and live in peace, be they spirits, creatures of light or dark, humans, or even other races. So long as you meant no harm, you would be welcome within his domain. And now we come to the end of our tale, or maybe just the beginning. Marethyu continues to tread his shadowy path, guided by a personal code that seeks to harness the darkness within himself for the greater good of Eldoria and those in need. I should know. It is my story, after all.